I keep trying to tap into that person who maybe was naive and, went into it feeling like you could make a difference.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we'll be counting down our picks for those musical artists that largely stuck to their creative guns while finding success on their own terms.
We were talking about, we should charge $25 and really milk it. Yeah, really take them for all they got.
Number 10, Abba.
When we got into the studio after 39 years, it was like no time had passed.
The Swedish pop sensations known as Abba may have released a new album in 2021, and they did create a virtual residency known as the Abba Voyage in London soon afterwards. However, the members of Abba had been notoriously reluctant to reunite prior to the 2020s, even famously turning down a $1 billion payday back in 2000. This is pretty astounding stuff, since even the most stalwartly grounded groups would have a difficult time turning down that kind of money.
Money, money, money. Must be funny in the rich man's world.
But the fact that ABBA also utilized motion-captured avatars of themselves within their residency might speak to the fact that they simply want their fans to remember them as they were, to enjoy the past.
When you're near me, darling, can't you hear the SOS?
Number 9, Rush. Progressive rock artists have long stood proudly and defiantly out of time.
I can't stop thinking that. I can't stop thinking that.
Bands like Rush remain steadfast in their dedication to music rather than fashion or trends. This stands in line with prog's reputation for boundary-pushing musicianship, and Rush has certainly achieved this, and all on their own terms.
Make sensation a little bit stronger.
Granted, the 1980s output of Rush did embrace the burgeoning synthesizer movement, but their musical fences never felt enclosed by possibility. Instead, fans responded in droves to how these Canadian legends made arena rock a place where both the visceral and intellectual spaces could be explored. And those same fans wouldn't want it any other way. Number 8, Motorhead. We are Motorhead, and we play rock and roll. This was a line famously uttered by the group's leader, Ian Lemmy Kilmister, before practically every gig.
We are Motorhead. We play rock and roll.
And Motorhead never pretended to be anything other than loud, heavy, and obnoxious rock.
Rock and roll, satisfy my soul. That's how it has to be. I won't get back.
They're seen today as one of the godfathers of speed metal, thanks to their high-octane tempos and driving double-bass drumming. Motorhead could also slow things down to a bluesy crawl or even some surprisingly effective balladry.
There's something awful wrong that she's far too young to see.
And they did it while never straying from that rock and roll core that endeared Lemmy and company to generations of headbangers. Number 7, Beastie Boys. Does the act of progression mean selling out? It's a question that's been asked of many bands and will likely continue to be asked of practically any group that picks up some guitars. The Beastie Boys didn't seem to think so, and many of their fans seem to agree.
No sleep till Brooklyn!
These rebellious youths started out playing hardcore punk before their early love of the hip-hop genre encouraged a stylistic shift. Those early Beasties records featured party anthems that blurred the lines between rock and rap.
You gotta fight for your right to party!
Meanwhile, future efforts from the boys became more and more influential, delving deep into the rap genre with a dedication that made them respected pioneers.
Oh my God!
Number 6, Iron Maiden.
Out of souls, time is free.
The landscape for commercial metal was a challenging one for the established guard. Fans had dug their heels into the underground, leaving many traditional acts struggling for relevance. Iron Maiden, to their credit, weathered the storm with a new singer, Blaze Bayley, while continuing to write the music they wanted to play. This stood in contrast to the choices made by Judas Priest, Rob Halford, or former Maiden singer Bruce Dickinson, all three of which attempted to appeal to new metal, industrial, and grunge trends of the day. Maiden, through it all, stayed Maiden, despite stunted sales and concert tickets. The band would eventually reunite with Dickinson and regain their prominence, but fans never forgot Iron Maiden's dedication to the heavy metal cause. Number 5, Pearl Jam. We've probably all paid a little too much to see our favorite bands. This could be due to them playing a big festival, or maybe we just waited too long to grab tickets. Pearl Jam has always seemed to respect their fans, particularly when it comes to ticket prices.
This summer, we just decided that, we didn't want the ticket prices to be over $20.
The grunge icons famously attempted to circumvent the Ticketmaster runaround back in 1994, and their dedication to this mission sees no signs of slowing down decades later. Pearl Jam even promised to cancel any resale tickets sold above face value for their 2025 tour, and a move that likely made their devoted fans love them even more. Number 4, Radiohead. There's something to be said about sticking to one's guns, particularly when it comes to composing difficult music. Britain's Radiohead blew the minds of critics back in 1997 when they released OK Computer. This was a marvelous record that somehow managed to combine alternative rock with electronica and even vintage progressive sounds in a manner that felt fresh and new. Radiohead didn't stop there, however, and continued to push creative boundaries with every new album or project. It would have been easy for the group to capitalize upon the goodwill received from both OK Computer or their 1993 debut, Pablo Honey. Instead, Radiohead dug in their heels and never sold their defiantly unconventional musical principles. Number 3, Roger Waters.
Under my Gulf Stream and circular pools, there's 99 cents worth of drunkards and fools.
The departure of Roger Waters from Pink Floyd didn't spell the end of that band. Floyd carried on just like they did after their separation from founding member Syd Barrett.
And whatever. So how could we possibly survive? If the guy who writes the songs in the band goes crazy.
Waters, to his credit, continued doing things his way, retaining the levels of control he wielded in Floyd.
Hello, hello, hello. Is there anybody in there?
This resulted in a solo career that put just as much focus on Waters' sardonic lyrics as it did on guest spots from friends like Eric Clapton and Jeff Beck. Floyd became more melodic and soulful after the departure of Waters, while the latter's LPs, Amused to Death and The Pros and Cons of Hitchhiking, were experimental exercises from a fertile creative mind.
Nothing interferes. It's obvious how to beat the tears.
Number 2, Nirvana. What do you do when millions of music fans suddenly adore you for writing the loud, abrasive, and intentionally uncommercial rock you've been writing for years?
Come as you are, as you were.
The members of Nirvana likely asked themselves this question after their 1991 album Nevermind struck a conceptual nerve in the pop zeitgeist. Grunge was suddenly an in thing, with many new groups struggling to jump on the new rock bandwagon. Nirvana could have easily dumbed down the Nevermind formula to compete in this new space, but they had another idea. In Utero was the follow-up, and it felt even more focused and cognizant of Nirvana's new place in the food chain. This was a hard-hitting and even controversial album, one that proved Nirvana wasn't backing down to major label pressure. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. David Bowie. There are just some masters of musical reinvention out there that manage to stay relevant for decades.
I was living like a king.
David Bowie released his first albums during the tail end of the 1960s. Then he broke barriers with his glam rock dominance that challenged just about everybody's preconceptions of what a rock star looked like.
Rebel, rebel, after they know. Hot tramp, I love you so.
Bowie never rested on those creative laurels, however, and instead embraced every new technology while creating music that always felt true to his personal style.
Hello, Spice Boy.
The Thin White Duke could do no wrong in the eyes of his fans and continued to stay musically relevant right up until his death in 2016. Which artists do you feel have retained the most integrity over the years? Let us know in the comments.
Yes, we sell out every seat in the house, every time we play, anywhere we play.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from Watch Mojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.